Welcome back, everybody. As promised, today I'm going to be talking about the part of the brain which is in our head responsible for intelligence and intellect, and specifically around quietening the mind and our thoughts. As mentioned before, the relationship that we have with our thoughts is the most intimate relationship we have. Our thoughts wake up before we do, and a lot of the times people don't challenge their thoughts. Eckhart Tolle said that the biggest mistake humans make is believing that they are their thoughts. And by never challenging your thoughts, you are actually putting yourself at a great disadvantage. You can get carried away by them. Your thoughts can bring you down. You could be fighting, for hours in your head with someone that you know or an imaginary person, and your thoughts could actually bring you right down into a depression or anxiety. And there's also an opportunity for you to use your thoughts to bring you up, but a lot of people don't know how to do that. So today specifically, I'll be talking about some work that I've come across by a lady called Byron. She's been doing this for 40 years very effectively, and I love her strategy, which is a simple 4-step process. And the first part of it is when a thought that's hurting you or troubles you comes into your mind, she asks you, is it true? So the very first part is ask, is it true in your reality, in your belief system and values? So rather than it just being a thought that you blindly believe, challenge it and say, is it actually true? The second part of it is to say, by carrying this thought, does it make me feel light and peaceful, or does it make me feel heavy and stressed? So that's going to be a quick and easy section just to know whether it's actually making you feel good or bad. And the third part is, what if it would be incapable, you would be incapable of actually having that thought? If you couldn't have that thought, what would life be like, or how would you behave differently? So, are you snapping at your children and loved ones? Are you acting a little bit differently at work, or whatever your situation relates to? If you're now not able to have that thought, how different does that make things look? And the final part for her, she says, is to flip it around. And I'll actually use an example here for you to relate to this. I do highly encourage you to read her book, but I'll give you an example. So imagine your heavy thought is, my boss doesn't like me. And the first thing you could do is then say, is that true? The first stage, well, yeah, I think he doesn't like me. He hasn't included me on a couple of important meetings. There's been a couple of team lunches that haven't been included in. So perhaps you did think that that might be true. But could you know it as the absolute truth? Well, we couldn't know that unless someone actually says it to you. The second step is, does this thought make you feel happy and light, or does it make you feel stressed and heavy? So in this situation, I would say that we could safely assume it does make the person feel stressed and heavy. The third thing is, what if you were incapable of having that thought? So how much differently would a person behave when they went to work, not actually thinking that their boss didn't like them? So their whole behavior would be completely different. And so choosing to hold on to that thought could actually be detrimental in many ways. So the fourth part of this is to flip it around. And the book goes into this in great detail, but for this example, we're going to flip it around and say, I don't like my boss. And for a lot of people, that could be true. So when you sit with that and you take ownership and mastery of your own thoughts, you realize that you're actually able to challenge them and neutralize them. It's a very important, longer piece of work, and I encourage you to practice it, or practice a version of it where you can challenge your thoughts and not just blindly believe them, because like I said, you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts wake up before you, and if you don't challenge them, they could carry you away or bring you down. Okay, so the other practice would be, when you become more and more aware and you run those 4 steps, you'll be able to do it almost unconsciously. And the next stage after that is to actually use a process where it will go and the thoughts will actually bring you higher and higher. Okay, so I hope that's been useful today.